How y'all doing? It's PawPaw again.
I don't buy new cars, I don't buy brand names, I go to Goodwill for my clothes. I like to save money, I like to find bargains, it's the life I chose. I throw nothing away, I'll find a use another day for all this junk I keep. My neighbors all hate me, they abuse and berate me, 'cause I like doing it cheap. Yeah, I like doing it cheap. Welcome to another episode of Doing It Cheap.
Oh my goodness. Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to try to bring another refrigerator to life. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you saw on one of them where I had that 25 cubic foot frost-free refrigerator and I replaced the computer board in it. And shoot, I took this one out of the house. This is I think this is a 18 or 19 cubic foot. Anyway, I pulled it out and put the one I repaired back in the man cave. But anyway, the problem this one was having is the seal was not sealing good enough against the cabinet, and consequently was getting condensation build up the refrigerator, which ended up being stored in the pan underneath the refrigerator, and then it would overflow and we'd have water in our floor. And the gaskets are just not sealing anymore. Well, I priced them online, and from genuine Maytag, they're like $113 a piece. You got to buy two of them. And I also saw on there how to rejuvenate these seals, how to make them where they'll stick again. Some people said, "Oh, just rub a little Vaseline on them; that'd make them stick." And another outfit, another person said, "Throw this gasket, like your new gasket, in the clothes dryer on a medium heat, and let that medium heat warm and soften that where to seal good." Well, what I'm going to do, this is a Maytag model PTB 1949 GR. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the gasket from the freezer door and put it in a trash can full of hot soapy water and let it be soaking, and hopefully I can get all the dirt and mildew and buildup of gunk over, I don't know, 20 years. This refrigerator was making a little noise when we got it. My daddy-in-law had it in his house, bought it brand new, and it come with the house he bought, and he heard a little noise and he didn't like that, so he bought him a new refrigerator and give us this one. And I told him, I said, it probably ain't nothing, a little old piece of paper or something down there on the fan. Well, he didn't give a shit. It didn't matter. By God, it's making a little bit of noise, he's getting him another. And that has been well over 10 years ago. And this refrigerator never failed until recently. Finally, the seals are going out. But hey, can't complain about that. Anyhow, what I want to show you right quick is how the seals actually come off of this particular refrigerator. I'm gonna go get my screw gun. I'll be right back. I'll tell you what, since I bought this little fella right here, I'm using a fool out of it. This is that little impact driver. It has a quick disconnect here where you just pull out on that and put in your bit. But I really like a little thing. Now it don't come with a battery, and y'all buy one, they don't come with a battery, and you catch them on sale for about 10 bucks. Anyway, I have a 1/4 inch hex head socket here, and I'm going to zoom in now on the gasket, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. right up underneath here. I think you can see that. There are screws under here. And I'm using a hex head because I hate rounding out them little Phillips screws. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way around the thing, and I'm going to pull all these screws, and it's going to end up with this plastic piece coming out as well. So let me get this done and we'll come back, all right? Okay, what I did is I pulled them screws loose all the way around, and this whole thing come off, okay? And I left the screws actually inside the gasket there. But this made it easier. Instead of me having to bend over and pick up all the screws one at a time, I'll be able to lay this down on the table and get all the screws out of it. All right, so let's get that part done. We'll be back in a minute. Well, when I decided I'd go ahead and pull the gasket off the refrigerator door, I got down there looking and I said, boy, that's an awful low area for my big butt to be trying to pull them screws and all that. So I believe I want to take that door off and work with it like on a tabletop or something. So that requires pulling that top door. All right, and right up there, see that bolt sticking out? Right up there, those bolts have 5/16 heads on them. So I'm going to pull those right quick. And that hinge just has a pivot pin that goes in the top of the door. So I'm going to put that right back up there so I don't lose them screws. And let me set this aside. And the door sits right on top of that. Whoop. Having trouble focusing. There we go. And the door sits right on top of that round pin, and that's where it hinges or swivels. So now I'm going to pull this loose, and then I should be able to lift my bottom door up off of the refrigerator. There we go. Now I can lay that door up on a flat area and work with it a lot easier than crawling around down on the ground. I already have the freezer door gasket in this trash can full of soapy water, so I'm letting that soak, then I can clean it. Alright, we'll be back in a few. You look at something like this and you say, is there any wonder the daggum thing was leaking air? I mean, my God, look how filthy that is. That was the bottom of the refrigerator door. How are you supposed to be able to see that? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I'll get on here and start taking this apart. Like I say, you just peel back that gasket just like that. Just pull them screws. I love these little magnetic parts trays that you get for free sometime at Harbor Freight. Love them. Working on a table like this, a lot better too, because you ain't dropping these screws on the ground. We'll be back. The freezer door has 24 screws in it, and the refrigerator door has 34. It has 10 screws down each side and 7 across the top and the bottom. And all you gotta do is just ease this gasket off of here. There you go. Alright. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to clean this thing really good. And I'm hoping I can reuse this. If not, I have been able to find the gaskets for approximately $57 each. They're all over Maytag sites and all that for $113. But there's also some parts distributors sell them for about $57 each. So I'm hoping I can just rejuvenate these gaskets. If I can, that's fantastic. And if I can't, then I figure I spent $120 and have my refrigerator good as new again. But we'll see. So I'm gonna fold this thing up and stick it in that trash can full of soapy water, and I'm gonna let this soak probably overnight. I want to make sure it gets plenty of opportunity to soften up all the dirt and crud and all that. Then I'll take a gentle brush and I'll try to brush all this filth off of it, and we'll go from there. Okay? Alright, well, we'll be back. I'll be back in a few hours, for you to be a few seconds. Bye. Oh yeah, that's good. Bye. Well, how y'all doing? I'm back. Well, let's see what has transpired. Took the refrigerator apart, as far as all the internal shelves and all that kind of stuff. See there? Took everything out of it and been cleaning on all of it, and took the door panels off. I think I showed you that. But pulled the gaskets. Now, scrubbed the gaskets really good. Some of it had some old dirt and stuff on there that hadn't come off yet, so I let it soak. I've let it soak for over 24 hours in a soap and water solution, and I'll get back to washing on that. But what I wanted to show you is that, I took everything out of the refrigerator. If it would come out, it came out. And show you right over there, all the parts and pieces, door panels, all that. Give it all a good bath, okay? Now then, what I intend to do is get these gaskets. I want to finish getting these gaskets all cleaned up. Like I said, they've been soaking in a good soap and water for over 24 hours. Tell you what, I had taken an energy drink day before yesterday, and perked me right up, and I felt good. I worked till, I don't know, 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. I didn't realize it. I overdid myself. Shit. I kicked back that recliner all day yesterday. I didn't even get up. Oh, I just sat there and watched movies online. Oh, I was wore out. So I'll try to do a little better this time. Anyhow, what I hope to do today is get the doors all cleaned up real nice, get the door panels and the gaskets put back on them, and get this thing plugged back in. The problem we had with this refrigerator is it was leaking water onto the floor, and from what I understand, it was because air was allowed. You know, you get warm, moist air inside your refrigerator, and it was condensing, and of course filling up the little pan that's underneath your refrigerator that ain't designed to hold 5 gallons, because your refrigerator ain't supposed to be a dehumidifier. Okay, so like I said, I got it all cleaned out. Good point feller made was, when you're into something this deep, it's a good time to blow out and clean your evaporator coils, not evaporator coils, but the coils on the back of your refrigerator, down there underneath it, that collects all that dust, and lube that fan up, you know, because that's the best time to do it, is when you got it out here, because it's kind of hard to do it indoors. So we'll come back whenever I am putting the door panels and gaskets back on. Okay. Well, I want to tell you that there's a cleaning product out there that's hard to beat. And that's good old-fashioned Comet. You know, powder cleanser. And I'll add a little bit of water to it and make up like a paste. And then that's what I'll use to scrub on something that needs a good cleaning, because that will flat take that stuff off. And ladies, totally cleaning a refrigerator like this, it's not something that requires great strength. These refrigerator doors are very, very light. They're just a block of styrofoam with a little sheet of aluminum foil around them. So don't feel like you gotta hire help to get your refrigerator took apart. If you've got the strength to pull it back away from the wall, you got all the strength you need in order to clean it. And once I get this all cleaned up the way I want it, then I'm gonna put my gaskets and door panels back in, and we'll be about done with this thing. And this is taking adhesive off where somebody stuck a sticker on there, and it's been there for years, and it's Comet now. It's hard to beat. I like it. Now, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody out there about how, oh, you ought to be ashamed that your refrigerator get in such a condition. I don't want to hear that crap. The purpose of this video is to teach you how you can take an old dirty piece of crap and repair it and have you something worth having. Too many people throw stuff away. Like I said, my daddy-in-law was throwing this thing away 10 years ago because it making a little bit of noise. And all it was is a little something hitting the fan blade, I think. But then people would say, well, I'm going to throw that refrigerator away because them gaskets are bad and they're leaking. Well, I almost wouldn't blame you if you had to pay full bore price on them things, $113 a piece. I mean, who wants to put $213 $227, it was $113.50. Who wants to put $227 into a refrigerator that you can replace for $340? I can understand that. However, I was able to find new gaskets for this model for $57.50 each. It's a refrigerator door and freezer door. $57.50 each, and if I purchase new ones, that would completely solve my problem, because the refrigerator does run good. But before I done that, I got online and I was looking at how to, is there any alternative? And people say, oh yeah, rub Vaseline on it and all this stuff. And I'm going, what the hell is rubbing a little Vaseline on going to do? So I decided what I'd do is I'd take mine apart and give them a good cleaning. So we'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna rinse this off again, let it dry, and we'll be putting the door panel and the gaskets back on. Well, alrighty now. Well, I've got this thing about as clean as I'm gonna get it, and this rubber on this gasket, try as I might, I could not get it to turn shiny white again. So I just got it as clean as I could get it, and now we're going to put it back on. Now there is no top or bottom to the gasket. There's a left and a right, and you got to make sure you put it on in the right direction, because basically just look underneath it for your screw slots and know they go down. And the what I want to say, make sure that you're not putting your panel on upside down. Now this is my butter thing right here, and you can see here the slots for the shelves, that's setting. So that's on the bottom section, or bottom, or towards the bottom. So I got to look at mine. I'm not going to raise it up. I can tell you, my handle is right here. I walk up to mine, I open it this way. I know that this is on top. Okay. So knowing I've got it all situated the right way, now comes the time to put this thing back together. And basically, it's just a reverse of what you did when you took it apart. It's just we're going to start on one corner, and I'm just going to press that gasket in place just like that right there. And I'm going to walk all the way around this thing, positioning this gasket. I ain't putting no screws in it. I'm not attaching it in any way to the door yet. All I'm doing is going around here and getting it ready for screws. Okay? So it's going to look just like that right there. And when I get back, we'll have it ready to attach. Now I found that my gasket, for me, was easier to attach by turning this thing up on its side, and that way I could see the holes in my gasket and the holes in my door panel and get everything lined up the way it's supposed to be. Also, when you get down to about your last corner, you're going to need to flex your door panel a little bit to get that last rubber corner on there. Instead of stretching your gasket, you might want to flex your door panel. Anyway, got it all put together, all on there now. Now it's a matter of putting the screws to it. So I'm just going to get my nut driver and the screws, and we'll do a reverse of what we did when we took it apart. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to find one on each side for the moment. There we are. And I want to center that hole. I will center that hole and that screw hole in there. So we get this squared on just as good as possible. I didn't put that in real tight. I just put it in enough to where it won't come out. and to where it'll hold the gasket in place. So I'm going to jump all over this thing, left, right, crooked, sideways, across, back and forth, every which way, until I get them all in. And then when I get them all in, then I'm going to snug them down. And when we come back, you'll see the gasket will have been installed. Well, I've got the panel reinstalled on the door with the gasket. And now then it's time to mount the door to the refrigerator itself. And I want to point out a little bit of hardware to you. On this particular model, you've got this little jewel right here. It's square on the bottom, round on top. This fits into a hole down here at the bottom of the refrigerator. There's a bracket, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's hard for me to see. I can't tell out here in the bright sunshine if I'm showing it to you or not. So let's just suffice to be saying that this goes at the bottom of your refrigerator door. Square side down, there's a bracket down there. It's got a square hole. And if you were careful when you took it apart, you saw this. Okay? So I'm just going to set this in place down there. There are two places down there that plastic piece can go. That bracket has two holes. Depending on which side of your refrigerator box you mount your hinges, determines which one of those holes that little plastic thing goes into. It goes into the outermost, okay? The outermost hole on the bracket. So in this case, because my hinges are on the right side, that pin down there is on the right side, okay? And if you put it in the wrong one, you know immediately as soon as you try to line your door up, you say, oh crap, I have to undo it. Anyway. The next thing we've got is, let's see. Again, it's hard for me to tell if you can see this. But I got two screws here. On this particular model, they require a 5/16 socket or a 5/16 wrench to remove. And this is the top hinge for the refrigerator. I will tell you that this hinge, actually, the outermost screw has a shoulder on it where you don't even have to remove this screw. Just run it in until the shoulder is tight, because this hinge just has a little slot where it fits in, and then we'll put our other screw in this hole. Okay? So, and there's washers. There's two washers on this piece also. One rides right on top of your refrigerator door, and the other rides under your freezer door. Alright, set that on there. I put my hinge on my door, and then I swivel my hinge in place. And the refrigerator door is now installed. And we're going to find out if it's going to work or not. It looks good because it's at least holding, because this thing is leaning downhill. We'll find out. Let's say you stick a dollar bill in it. If a dollar bill will slide out, then your gasket's weak and needs to be replaced. And mine's probably weak and needs to be replaced, but this is the tutorial. This is how to do something. So regardless whether you clean your gasket and put it back on, or you just buy new gaskets and put them on, this tutorial still works. Okay, well, I'm gonna go take care of the freezer door. I'm gonna do the same thing. We'll be back. And let me give you a little friendly advice. When you go to put your gasket back on your refrigerator door, if you'll do it in this order right here, it'll make it so much easier. And first of all, if you had yourself a magnetic nut driver for your little cordless drill or little cordless impact, it'd make a big difference. Little magnetic sure is handy, especially me, these old big old thumbs, so I didn't have one. I wish I had. Anyway, put your first screws in the center of each side, and that's going to position your gasket where it needs to be. Then go to the corners, all four corners, and put your two screws, one on each side, at each corner, because that's when you've got the most flex and most give, because you don't have any screws in this part right here. Okay, so center, all four sides, then screws on the corners, and then fill in. All right, well, this door here, you got a hinge on top. Now, I always put my screws back in if I'm not going to be putting them. If I'm not going to be reassembling immediately, I put my screws back where they belong so I don't lose them. But this is 5/16 head on these up here. Of course I dropped one. And another. Alrighty then. Oh, I just love it when a plan comes together. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. PawPaw's in need of a screw. Shit. Where'd it go? PawPaw's hunting a screw. Oh, hell. Oh, well. We'll put together what I got first. Okay. So make sure that washer is on top of this hinge right here on the center. Set that in place. Get our door somewhat in place. And I like to finger start these screws up here to help make sure I've got everything aligned the way I want it before I ever tighten any of them down. And the doors are on. Now, I gotta let y'all go because PawPaw's gotta hunt himself a screw. I'll be back. Well, that didn't take too long. Never does. All right. So, now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean out my evaporator coils on the back, maybe try to get a little WD-40 or PB Blaster or some kind of lubricant on the fan motor in the back. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, I failed to film me spraying that cleaner on the coils down here. I'll show you a picture of it, show you they're real clean. But the refrigerator is finally put back together. Right down there that was all covered in dirt and all manner of dust and crap. And all I did is I spritzed it down a little bit. I sprayed that cleaner on there. and then I let it set a few minutes and just washed it off. That's it. So you can see it. I mean, it's like made that shine. That's good stuff. I can't remember what it's called. Dadgum, something lightning. Oh well. Anyhow, the refrigerator, the seals, even though I didn't put Vaseline or nothing on them, they seem to be holding well. Only time will tell. But I know the average person would have thrown this refrigerator away. I see no reason to throw it away. The seals was leaking air, and is making it condensate on the floor. The only thing I hate is the daggum handles on the refrigerator. Look how yellow they are. Originally those was white, so it's a shame that over time those just deteriorate like that. But it's a Maytag Performance. It's a 19 cubic foot, already blowing cold air. So that's it for this cleaning, building, instructional tutorial, whatever you want to call it. All it took was a little elbow grease, some soap and water, different kinds of soaps, and I just made sure I cleaned that gasket just as good as I possibly could. I let it soak overnight and try to rejuvenate that rubber a little bit if possible. But if I have any trouble with it, I will report back on this video and let you know. But I don't think I'll have any trouble. The refrigerator itself worked well. The freezer worked well. However, because that gasket was leaking as bad as it was, even though it would keep stuff frozen in the freezer, it wouldn't keep the ice cream hard frozen. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it does now. Okay. Well, folks, thanks for sticking with me through this. This was quite an ordeal. If I had it to do all over again, and if I had the money, I would look at buying new seals, because I'm going to tell you what, it was a lot of work to clean them things. But I was on that tweaker energy drink, so I didn't care. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I better tomorrow. Bye.